Mazuma Boxing here back with another video. Okay, if you guys haven't heard already, Charles Martin, the IBF champion after beating Glasgow, will be facing a young prospect from the UK, the British and Commonwealth champion Anthony Joshua. Okay, this fight is something that is something solid for the heavyweight division to experience right now. Um, I've watched both of these fighters fight. And especially Charles Martin with his fight against Glasgow. It was the first fight I ever seen Charles Martin take on, and that fight, and in that fight, that fight was pretty weird. I believe that Glasgow had suffered a injury in his right knee, so they considered it a TKO in Charles Martin's favor. Um, Even he had went on to say that he wasn't satisfied with his victory and felt like he needed to prove himself. And based off of his actions, he seems to want to prove himself against Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, coming off an impressive victory over Dillian White, knocked him out, and I believe in the later rounds. And Anthony Joshua has showcased had as Anthony Joshua was able to prove a lot of things within that one fight. If you had watched the fight, I believe it was in the second round, Dillian White had landed a really solid punch that had connected right to Anthony Joshua's chin, and it had hurt him it had hurt him momentarily. And being that he was in great condition and that he is in great shape, he was able to recover and get the knockout later on during the fight. He showed that he showed that his conditioning had been well as he had never went past, I believe it was the second or third round, and he went into the later rounds, and his power was still there. So it shows that he is able to go into the deeper waters and still showcase his abilities without being fatigued. And he showed that he could recover from a punch, and he actually showed some boxing ability, which was pretty impressive. On the other hand, being that I've only seen one fight from Charles Martin, and before the injury had even occurred, I wasn't really impressed with him. Um, I looked through his box rec, and he has faced multiple undefeated fighters, and he has showed some. I believe he had a draw. I believe it was he's like 21-0 with a draw, but Charles Martin has shown that he has had more experience than Anthony Joshua, being that Anthony Joshua only has 15 fights and to Charles Martin's 21, and I believe Charles Martin has faced more undefeated fighters than Anthony Joshua, which may not mean shit to some people, but it does stand out more on his resume. Um, in terms of this fight going on, I would have to go with Anthony Joshua winning. I believe he is more of the power. I believe he has more power than Charles Martin. I believe that what will play a key into this fight would be Anthony Joshua's power. If you look at, I'm not sure because Tyson Fury and guys um, Bernard Hopkins as he's gotten older. I don't know, man. Charles, like like those guys, they seem to like not be, may not look in shape. Charles Martin is a young fighter, and he's like a little. I don't know. He looks kind of out of shape to me. He's like a little pudgy around like the stomach area and shit. You know, isn't the most muscular guy, which is okay. Um, but it's like this guy. It's like this nigga look like he doesn't have a strength and conditioning coach. Like I don't know what it is. Um, I know he has knockout power, which will probably like disqualify that. Not even an argument, just like a brief judgment. And you know, I don't know. I think if Anthony Joshua were to go to the body, I think it would have a traumatic effect on Charles Martin throughout the fight. Um, not only is Anthony Joshua's power going to be a key in the fight, but I also believe his athleticism. I have watched videos of Anthony Joshua working out, and the athletic ability on this kid is absolutely amazing. Um, and his boxing ability as well. I think those three right there will play a major key into this fight, and I got Anthony Joshua being the new IBF heavyweight champion of the world. That if he is able to accomplish this, he'll be making huge noise in the heavyweight division. It's a good thing to see Anthony Joshua stepping up and getting these fights. Shout out to Eddie Hearn for making this possible. Um, but yeah, this kid, I really believe this kid is something special, and I don't know, man. It's just his athletic ability just stands out to me a lot. The only heavyweight fighter right now that I think can match his athletic ability would have to be Deontay Wilder. Other than that, this guy stands out a lot, and I think it would be better for boxing if Anthony Joshua were to get the W. Um, I'm not rooting for anybody in this fight because I'm not particularly a fan of either of these guys, but I will have I do believe, and I will predict that Anthony Joshua will win in the middle rounds by TKO. But that is my prediction. Anything can happen in the sport of boxing. This is Mazuma Boxing. Let me know what you guys think about this fight, and I'm out of here.